Well, would you look at that? I'm back again. I'm uploading again. 2 days in a row, actual videos. For me, that's a big deal. And I swear, one day I'm going to clean this room. Just not today, okay? I promise. I'm employed. I'm married. I have motion, okay? In some areas of my life. Just bear with me. But the thing I wanted to talk about today was like really niche, really weird. This is going to be like a weird ass rant. I just need y'all to like kind of vibe with me here. I need you to fly with me on this journey really quick. Throughout my life, one positive quality that I think I have is that I can make tough decisions. If me or a loved one or my wife or something are in a tough spot and someone needs to just say, okay, this is it. This is what we've got to do. Let's get through this. I'm usually the person to do that. I feel confident doing it. I feel fine doing it. And I feel like most of the time, more often than not, I make a beneficial or, correct choice depending on the circumstance, right? Like I feel pretty good about that. But fuck, man, one area I just cannot ever live with my decisions is when shit does not matter at all. Like whether it's how to go about my day, like what kind of video game I should play, further, what character should I play in said video game, or how should I customize my character in said video game? How should I do my hair that day? What shirt should I wear? All these thoughts that go into the most mundane fucking decisions destroy my brain. Destroy them. Like you could literally be like, Cordell, the Florganoids are about to invade Earth. We can either stand tall here knowing that there's like a 90% chance we're going to fail, or you can divert their energy to another system and we don't know if there's life there or not. It's a gamble. We could be dooming an entire civilization to death, or we could be diverting them to a completely lifeless system where we all get off scot-free and we buy ourselves enough time. And I could make that decision. Delusions of grandeur. I could make that decision in the boardroom of the UN or whatever, wherever the fuck I would be in some Mass Effect ass like scenario. So that's what I'm trying to illustrate here, right? So let me shed some light on what I'm talking about. I need y'all to know the depths of my depravity, the absolute state of my mind. So let's take a couple examples. We're gonna use video games just because I'm a huge gamer, and you know what? I'll throw clothes in too. How about that? These are things humans relate to, right? But let's take those. So let's just say I'm playing a multiplayer video game like Overwatch. That's probably my go-to multiplayer game. That's the one I play the most out of everything. It's the one I keep going back to. For anyone who doesn't know, Overwatch is a team shooter, right? Hero shooter. And within those, there's usually 3 divisions, some variation of tank, damage, support, as it's called in this game. You might know it from World of Warcraft. Tank, damage, healer. Or Marvel Rivals, Vanguard, Duelist, fucking... the hell was the other one? Strategist, just being different. But yeah, I assume just based on analytics, most of you watching are gamers or nerds of some kind, just like me. So you know what I'm talking about. I have found that there's multiple ways to decide who or what you're going to be in these games. And a lot of people make these decisions rather easily. One of my best friends, he just knows I'm big guy with sword and shield. I'm basically that in every game. So he knew once he turned on Overwatch, he'd be Reinhardt. He'd be a Reinhardt main. That was it. He didn't even need to try the whole roster to know that. He just knew he was a Reinhardt main, right? And when we play Elder Scrolls Online, he's like, I'm big man, sword, shield. That's all I ever am. So he just was a Nord, Dragon Knight, sword and shield, stamina spec. That's what he was. And he's fine with that. Skyrim, same thing. Nord, sword and shield. That's it. Put points in health and stamina. No magic. Magic is for elves. He's always so confident about that, right? But, he beats himself up over other things. Things that I don't beat myself up about. But I beat myself up over about, like shit like this. So when I play Overwatch, I'm confronted with tank, damage, support. Already, my brain is firing. Every neuron in my brain is losing its fucking mind, right? How do I know? Should I be the tank, lead the charge, take space, no edits, and mitigate damage? Should I be a damage hero and go on the flank and get key picks to ensure victory in the team fights? Or should I be a support and enable my teammates, bring out the best in them, and be able to defend myself at the same time? You know, like there's so much nuance, because there's the school of thought, maybe I could be tank, you know? I feel like I have decent leadership skills in real life. Maybe that'll transfer to the game. But then again, playing tank is fucking miserable in the state of Overwatch, 5v5. It's fucking miserable. Who the hell would want to put themselves through that? But then again, Diva's really fun. So what do? You know what I mean? And then it's like damage. Damage is usually the go-to one that you think of most fun. At the end of the day, Overwatch, team shooter or no, is a first-person shooter. So the shooting's got to be fun. And who does more shooting than the DPS, right? And it's like you got cool characters like Tracer, who are like some of the most unique character designs I've ever seen in any game. Or characters like Genji, where he has just a really cool backstory and like the sort of body dysmorphia, like I don't like the way I look kind of lore, kind of being really relatable, at least to me. And I'm like, cool, well, maybe I should be that guy, But like, what does that mean? I'm fucking horrible with Genji. Should I devote myself to a character that I'm fucking terrible with just because he's cool? And then it's like support. I'm the best at it of all the roles that I play in the game. It's the only one I seem to get any kind of motion with, right? So it's like, should I just focus on that? Stick to my strengths, because you could argue that about real life, right? That's what I do in real life. Stick to your strengths. What are my strengths? Public speaking. I think I don't know if I'm giving y'all the ick by my weird schizo ranting. Writing, self-expression. These are the things that I feel comfortable doing and always have, and I feel like those are where I bring out the best of myself, right? Like I'm not a computer whiz like one of my best friends. He's comfortable being the guy behind the camera, the guy behind the scenes, making all the magic work, the guy with which, like, without him the whole thing falls apart. Whereas like I would fucking butcher that, right? I'm way more comfortable being on the camera. The one like writing the dialogue or even performing the dialogue. What I mean? But y'all get what I'm saying. So it's like, how do I make that decision? And it's something I grapple with every fucking day I boot the game up. And it's like my most played game, that and Baldur's Gate 3. And I'll get to that in a minute, right? Like I boot up Overwatch like every fucking night, and I can never make up my mind. Because I always go through these weird, stupid-ass thought processes. Let me be vulnerable with you guys for a minute. I go through these stupid fucking thought processes. I'm like, no. We should just play the objective best hero in the game. That way we can never lose. Or I should play the coolest looking. I don't even want to get involved in the character fantasy if they don't look cool. Character design's half the battle. Let's play the coolest character. Or let's play the one that is the most fun, which a lot of you watching might be, well, yeah, that would make most sense, right? Just lock in Vendetta because she can do the final Getsuga Tensho as her ultimate. Like, that shit is fun as fuck when you get it to work, right? Or it's like, well, what about the lore? I'm a writer. So it's like, I love lore. Who has the best lore? Well, it's obviously Ramatra. He's the most interesting character. So maybe I should just, be Ramatra, right? And then like, dude, this is how fucking bad it gets, dude. Because I think to myself, okay, hold on, Quirrell, you're acting insane. You're acting insane, dude. Like, this is obviously stupid. What you need to do is create a fucking spreadsheet and tally up these scores 1 to 5 for each subcategory, and then the character with the most points at the end is the one you have to main. Obviously, this is what every normal person does. So I did that. And I got a fucking, like, 4 or 5 way tie, because there's like 40 motherfuckers in Overwatch, right? Like I got Diva, I got Tracer, I got Ashe, I got Cassidy, I got Kiriko, and like I'm like, what the fuck does any of this even mean? So now I can't even narrow down to whether I should be tank, damage, or support, because I have a hero in each category with a perfect 25 out of 25 score based on my stupid metrics. And before any of you ask, yes, I have ADHD. I do. I do. It took 29 years and a therapist to figure that out. But yes, I have ADHD. I have no idea to what extent that's affecting any or all of my decisions. This is a relatively new insight to me. I didn't know I had this the whole time, right? So I don't know if this like if this brand of particular neurodivergency is like making this way more complicated than it needs to be. I'm just hyper analytical about this shit. And if I don't come up with a definitive answer, it makes my fucking head hurt, bro. And then I can't think of anything else until this is solved. When I'm going to work, I'm like, dude, I literally can't be here for 8.5 hours because I can't think of who I should main in Overwatch. It's ruining everything. This is psychotic, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Like, so let's move on to something else. I can talk about this for hours, but let's move on to Baldur's Gate 3, right? That is my favorite single player game, right? So it's like you have so many fucking decisions, man. You have to decide whether or not you're going to be an original custom character, Tav, or you're going to be any of the origin characters, one of which, the Dark Urge, has a completely customizable appearance, you know, and class. So it's like he's a fusion of like Tav and an origin character. So you're just like, well, shit, you know, should I play an origin character because they'd have like the most established character and therefore might be more interesting narratively as a main character? Should I be Tav because I get to imprint myself onto Tav? Or should I be the Dark Urge, which I get to also imprint myself on while also having an interesting established backstory and possibly like the canon way to play? Which way do you fucking play, you know? So it's like already big decision, super fucking hard to make. When I first beat Baldur's Gate 3, it was only after I had started the game and DNF'd that save file like 3 times and just kept restarting. I just kept restarting. Eventually, I did beat the game as a male Loathsworn Drow Oath of Vengeance Paladin. That's how I beat the game. I just thought it'd be sick if you were a Dark Elf Paladin. I just liked the aesthetics. So that's what I went with. I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't keep doing this to myself. I have to beat this fucking game. I love this game. So I just locked that in based on aesthetics alone, beat that shit. And then I did another run once I modded the game, you know, as you do. And I have like 1,300 hours on that game. And I'm in that weird limbo that I see a lot of people on the Baldur's Gate Reddit on, where you create a character, you play like Act 1 with them, and then you just never touch that motherfucker ever again. And maybe that goes beyond more than just fucked ways of thinking. Maybe, I mean, a lot of people do that. Maybe I'm not even that weird for that, but like I try to min-max it, and I'm like, well, how should I make this character? Should I make it based on like who has the most interesting lore and could potentially be the most narratively interesting? Should I do it based on a race I think is cool and then match the class to the race? Like, for example, tieflings look really cool. So what would be really cool on a tiefling? Well, obviously a fucking flame sorcerer, you know, just maximize the hell vibe. That looks sick, you know? Or should I just go based on stats? Should I be a Githyanki because they have like some of the best, if not the absolute best base racial stats? You know, like you know what I mean? And then you would want to maximize that, right? To make the best use of the stats. So you want to either be like a paladin or a fighter or something, right? Fuck. So like, how do you make these decisions? You could just leave it to chance, hit random. But then it's sort of like when you flip a coin between 2 decisions where it's like, when it's in the coin and you know it could land on the other one, you low-key figure out what it was that you wanted on your own because you're like, well, fuck, I hope it doesn't land on Tails because Tails would not be the one I wanted, right? And this is the problem I face with everything. At a certain point, it all just comes down to FOMO. Oh, wait, here, I'll give you the fucking clothes example, too. See, ADHD, I told you. That's my excuse for everything now. But, like, this shirt, wearing this shirt was a calculated decision. I'm stupid, right? Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. I'll know when I sit down. You know, like I pulled up a YouTube video while I was checking my email. It's called I Was Completely Burnt Out Until I Played This Game by The Emotional Gamer. He's talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I thought about being burnt out. And I'm like, yeah, dude, sometimes I get burnt out from gaming. And not just because I'm super tired from work or anything like that, but because I exhaust myself so much from trying to make these stupid fucking decisions that it takes all of the fun out of the game. Whereas if I just made a decision, maybe even not the most optimal one, but just a decision, I could have really sunk my teeth into the game and had a really fucking good time. That was true when I beat Baldur's Gate 3 the first time. So it's like, that is what made me make this video. But like, back to the shirt, I'm like, well, what fucking shirt do I wear? I've got X amount of shirts. How do you even pick something like that? I do it every day, but how? Right? And I'm just like, I don't know. And eventually I was so frustrated to where I'm like, look, we just have to wear a solid black t-shirt. It's just the least distracting. That's it. Takes the least amount of effort. So I have this fucking Black Panther Under Armour shirt, and it's the closest I have to a blank black tee. So I just put it on. That's it. But like so much needless thought went into that. I was like, well, should I look kind of nice? It's a YouTube video, right? Because I have like a double XL. You can kind of see it hanging off my drum kit there in the back, right there. I have a double XL solo leveling t-shirt that I got from Walmart just because I like wearing very billowy, comfortable shirts around the house because I'm not trying to impress anybody. But it's like, I was like, well, if I'm going to be in a YouTube video, which is broadcast to the public, you want to at least look like not a slob. So I put this shirt on. This shirt, I wear a large, so like this fits normally, but like the 2XL, that shit fits like a dress, and it's so goddamn comfortable, man. I don't know, but it's like I'm in my room, so it's like, why the fuck not just wear the double XL? But see, this is what I'm talking about. I'd be stressing myself out over these dumbass decisions that won't matter. My last video got like 4 views. No one's gonna see this, so, But it's like, fuck, like this is what I'm talking about. Just trying to be real with y'all. But I don't know. What is the cure for this? ADHD meds. But like in practice, if you don't have ADHD, if you're just perfectly fine, you just suck at making decisions. I think it's rooted in FOMO, if I'm being honest. I think it's FOMO more than a lot of other factors. You, and by you, I mean the royal you, so really just me. I get the feeling that if I make a choice, it locks me out of all other choices, and there are ways that I cannot engage with this thing. If I commit to, say, Freya in Overwatch, that means I can't commit to Tracer or Diva or Kiriko or whomever. It means I can't commit to them. It means I lose out on that. But what that also means is that if I care about rank, which I do, despite the fact that I fucking suck, I don't want to suck. Because video games are like my favorite pastime. I want to be good at them. It's kind of embarrassing to have been playing Overwatch for 10 years and just suck balls. So I'm like, I would like to at least scratch platinum, right? But it's like, how do I do that without any kind of consistency? But Cordell, here's the thing. FOMO doesn't fucking matter. If you're afraid of committing to a character, you can always play the other ones that you don't commit to in like Quick Play or the arcade. What's wrong with that? And when I think about that logically, nothing. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with just having a focus and then having fun with the other characters. Like, I do believe that Vendetta is probably the most fun character to me. So you could argue that it's like, you won't improve at the game if you're not having fun. So just log Vendetta in. Who cares if she sucks right now? If she keeps getting fucking dumpstered by nerfs. You're silver. Everyone in your rank sucks anyway. It's not like it matters, which is true. And it's like, I feel like tier lists only even really matter once you get to like the top echelon of the game. If I'm just some dude who works 42 and a half hours a week, it's not like it's gonna fucking matter. I can just lock in Vendetta and clean the fuck up, right? Because I'm just facing kids and other dudes who work. We're all in fucking silver. So it's like, if I want to play Freya or Tracer or Diva or whoever, just play them in Quick Play sometimes in your downtime when you're not grinding. Because you got to take a break. When it's time to take a break, fucking play who the fuck ever. It doesn't matter. And I guess that's really it. I needed to fucking rant about that. Get it out of get it off my chest, bro. Because I'm like, am I the only one who thinks these stupid ass thoughts? Am I the only one who's plagued by this shit? Are any of y'all? I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe I'm not even that out of the norm. Maybe I'm just someone who vocalized it, and maybe I put words to a thought that you've had for a while, maybe didn't connect until just now. There was a bigger idiot than you on YouTube. Me. Nah, but anyway, if you stayed this far, hey, thanks. Who knows? Maybe in the future I'll start editing more, but like as of right now, I'm kind of digging this free form thing. It's almost therapeutic. Just get these thoughts out there. But if you stayed this long, thank you. Feel free to subscribe and comment. I'd like to know if you guys destroy your own psyches with stupid bullshit constantly. And with that, I'll see y'all later.